Hi there, this is Allison with Let's Go Travel Tips. Today, here we are, it's Monday, June 13th, and we are back home again, right here at headquarters for Let's Go Travel Tips. We had the most wonderful, wonderful trip. The entire trip, the cruise, everything was absolutely phenomenal. The only blip we had in the whole thing were the flights, and in the end, those worked out perfectly. And so that's what I'm going to talk to you about. As we were coming home yesterday, I was trying to decide what my very favorite days were, and so I will tell you that in this video as well. So first of all, I do want to welcome all of our Let's Go family members, as well as all of those of you who are new. We are really glad to have all of you here together with us, and I want you to know that you all are exceeding my expectations. You are magnificent. The help that you get, your kindness and caring is really outstanding, and I just want to make sure that you know how wonderful you are. If anyone here hasn't subscribed, we would love it if you would subscribe. It'll make you a member of our Let's Go family, and it'll help you stay up to date with everything that you need to know if you're thinking about cruising or really even traveling much right now. So the first thing that I do want to talk to you about is the whole thing with us getting our flights back on Delta. I mentioned it in our video yesterday, but when I was done, I realized that there are a few things that I forgot to tell you. So first of all, we did not have to pay anything extra. She could see that those were our original flights and she gave them back. So we had no additional charge. The other thing that I think was really, really helpful is that we managed to call when it was just during their emergency hours, and those are the hours that the usual en route team is not open. So that team, if my understanding is correct, I think that they open it at about 6 or 7 in the morning. Maybe it's 8 o'clock in the morning Pacific time. No, it would have to be 6 a.m. Pacific time. Sorry about that. So I think that that is about the time that they open, and then they close, I believe, at 6 p.m. Pacific time. And so if you call in hours outside of that, you get their emergency team, and they're the people who I think actually are the most helpful. When you call then, you don't have the 4 or 5 hour wait. I think when I called, I had to wait maybe 7 or 8 minutes, and then my call got picked up, and that is when I actually really got help. And so I am really grateful that that is when we realized what was going on with our flights on American and tried to call again, because otherwise we would have been greeted by the recording that you're going to have hours of hold on the phone. So try to call then, if you can manage to call then. The other thing that I learned is one other day that we had tried to call, we had gotten that emergency the emergency team, and I don't know if it was the agent that we got or if it was just because we were not traveling in the next day or two that she didn't really want to be helpful at all. And so if you get your flights messed up, you know, of course try, but really I think the window that is the best is when you are close to flying home, which I know is miserable because then you have the chance of your flights being sold out, but then also try to call when you get the emergency team rather than the regular hours when the wait times are forever. So, and then pray. We really prayed a lot, or whatever it is that you do. To exercise your faith in how you do that, that's what I would suggest to go along with that. We really feel that it was the hand of the Lord that we got those flights back, and that sweet lady, that princess rep who was on the phone, she indeed was an angel to us, and so we are really grateful. So yes, it didn't cost extra. That's how we got it back. And if you missed my video yesterday, we had decided to go home on American, no big deal, until we found out we were going to have to buy seats if we wanted to be sure to be on those flights and pay a lot of luggage fees. And that's when I decided to try one more time, and that's when we got them fixed. So just be aware of all of that. No, I won't be trying Princess Easier in the near future. I don't know if I will a little bit down the road or not. I'll just kind of have to think about it and see what we think. But for now, I'm not going to do that. I've learned my lesson a little bit with being in control of my flights, and I think I'm going to do that. In this whole process, I have heard from so many of you that are having the same problems. There are actually a lot of you who were booked on Delta that are being moved to American flights, and the rep that we were on, she could see that Delta canceled the flights because they hadn't been ticketed, which is a Princess bad, not a Delta bad. So anyway, that's all of the information that I've got about that. If any of it is useful to you, you do however you think is best with you. Of course, use Princess Easy Air if you want to. And you know, I will say this was my 13th cruise with Princess, and we had used Princess Easy Air on the previous 12 cruises without a hitch. And so I just wanted to let you know that I still think Princess is amazing. It's not making me not want to cruise with them. We are looking at booking more cruises with them, so that's not a problem at all. The next thing that I think is really important that I wanted to tell you all about was the testing yesterday to come back to the United States. So as we were just going to do our test on Saturday evening there in Barcelona to be ready to fly on Sunday, I had mentioned that we were going to do one anyway since we were going to be checking in early. Well, just as we were going to do it, so when we started to check in with an American, they had already a notice on their website saying that you did not need a test if you were flying on Sunday, June 12th. Well, by the time the evening rolled around, Delta also had that notice on their website, so we just didn't do a test. I made sure that I had tests in the carry-on portion of our luggage that I could grab out really quick and we could pull over and do if we got there and they said we needed it, but we didn't. And we saw a lot of people that had done the test because they didn't know about the change. And so I was just really grateful we got to save our tests to use to get on more cruises. But that just went really smoothly. They didn't even bring up testing, and everything went really smoothly. So look at my video yesterday though, because I tucked in some information on flying out of Barcelona if you're going to be doing that. Now we have just a few news things that I want to tell you about today, and then I'm going to wind up telling you just about a couple of my most favorite days on our trip. So first of all, just today, June 13th, Princess has announced that they are doing this whole new sweepstakes with a chance for you to win a new Porsche Taycan. I don't know if I'm saying that right, or maybe it's Taycan, T-A-Y-C-A-N car, and it's going to be all painted fancy like with the Princess Sea Witch on the front, kind of like they do it on the bow of the Princess ships. And so I guess that Princess has a brand new partnership with Porsche, and the president of Princess, John Paget, said, like a Princess Medallion class cruise, a Porsche Taycan is a technological masterpiece that delivers a unique and truly emotional experience. And so clearly they are trying to turn the Medallion class app into something that is as good as a Porsche, is my takeaway from his comment. I think they've got a ways to do that, but I think that the concept is absolutely fabulous. If they can just get it to work all the time correctly, they really are going to have something that is a game changer. When it does work right, it is amazing. Like, your drink really does come to you. It really is really smooth for checking in and for all these other things that they want it to work for. And so anyway, so here's how you enter. If you want to enter the sweepstakes, there's a bunch of ways that you enter, and every time you do one of these, you get one entry. Okay, so you have to sail you have to sail on Princess between June and November of this year, of 2022, and that gets you an entry. Getting ocean ready between June and November for any future voyage counts as one entry. Buying a Medallion class accessory pre-cruise between June and November. Making a Medallion Pay shoreside purchase between June and November. Also purchasing Princess Premier add-on or upgrading from Princess Plus to Princess Premier between June and November, one entry. And it does not require sailing in that time period though. So it sounds like if you have a cruise like in December or any time after November, and you choose the Princess Premier or upgrade from Princess Plus up to Princess Premier, that'll count for an entry. And you can also register to win at princess.com/Taycan sweepstakes. And you can also register at any Porsche Club of America event between June and November. And so I thought that that was just kind of fun. And if any of you win, you'll have to tell us about it, okay? I don't know that I'll win. I don't win anything as a general rule. But anyway, so the next thing that I want to tell you all is, you might remember I did a video and told you all about the shareholder benefits that you get if you own 100 shares of Carnival Corporation stock. If I remember correctly, their ticker symbol is CCL. And so if you do that, then you get on board credit for every sailing that you go on. And today is June 13th, and there's the stock. All the cruising stock is not doing very well right now. And before the whole cruise shut down in March of 2020, we already had 100 shares of stock we bought several years ago, and it was doing good on its own. And then you add on the shareholder benefit with every cruise, and it's even more valuable. Well, once the cruise shutdown happened, it dipped. And I am not giving anybody financial advice here. I'm not telling you to buy stock or sell stock. So anyway, when it fell, we bought some more then, just because we figured it would be a good investment. So I thought that you would all like to know, if you are looking and trying to decide if you want to buy any stock so that you get the shareholder benefit. It dipped to $9.77 today before it closed at $9.91, which is down another 10% from Friday. I knew that it was low on Friday as well. I noticed that. And well off of the 52-week high, which was $30.77. So if you have just been waiting for a minute, and you might want to follow along with the stock prices. I know that the other cruise lines are having the same problem, and overall the market is down, as we all know, but I think it's cruising has just had a hard time getting the restart going, and just everything that is going on with the stock market right now. I think all of that combined is kind of where they're at today. I still have a lot of confidence in cruise stocks, or else I wouldn't own the stock that I do, and that Gordon and I do in that. And so I really do think that the future of cruising is very bright. They continue to order lots of brand new ships. There is still a really strong demand, and I think that it is only going to increase. I wanted to mention to you that this last week that we were on the Regal Princess, it was really full. We were at almost 100% capacity, and from everything that I have heard, it sounds like this whole summer season is going to be that way. And if that can go off, and I think it will go off just fine. I think that the demand will continue strong through the fall and into next year. That's just what I think. I am not anybody in forecasting. That's just what I see because of when we have been on the cruise ships, how things have been going. The other thing that I wanted to make sure that everybody knows about, which I think is really exciting news, is the Holland America Westerdam started cruising again yesterday, and she is just going to be running 7-day cruises, a total of 16 of them, clear up through, I think it's September 25th. And she's just going to be going round trip out of Seattle, and the main ports that she is going to visit are Victoria, Ketchikan, Juneau, and Sitka. And then she's also going to be doing scenic cruising in Puget Sound, the Stevens Passage, and Hubbard Glacier. So I'm really excited. She is the very last of their ships to return to service. The Volendam, you might recall, and I've mentioned to you all before, is over in Amsterdam, and the Netherlands government there is paying for them to house refugees from Ukraine on board, which I just am so tickled pink that they are helping those dear people. And so that is what's going on with the Volendam, but all of the other ships are sailing. And I am really excited now that we're home. I've already got one excursion booked for us for our cruise on the Koningsdam, so I will let you know about our plans once I've got the rest of it figured out. So that'll be this week, so that if anybody else is sailing on that, you have an idea of what we're thinking of doing. So there's a few other things that I just wanted to make sure that you are aware of. First of all, if you look on the Princess website at their COVID health protocols, you will notice that there is an update dated today, June 13th, for sailings from the US and Canada, as well as sailings from the United Kingdom and sailings from Europe. The only thing that has changed is they have added that update saying that as of June 12th, there is no longer any testing requirement to fly into the United States. I would just wanted to add that if you are a foreign national coming to the United States, you still need to be vaccinated. If you're not vaccinated, there is a whole other protocol for coming, but for anyone who is returning to the United States after a cruise or coming to the United States for a cruise, assuming that you're vaccinated, you don't have to have a test anymore. That really simplifies things. For our upcoming cruise on the Koningsdam, it's round trip out of Vancouver, but we bought our plane tickets before they made that announcement, and so I just insisted, and Gordon agreed, that we should go in and out of Seattle and just use the Holland America shuttle, their little transfer up to the port, and so that's what we're going to do, and I'm sure it will be just fine. We have taken that transfer before on Princess from Vancouver down to SeaTac, and it just worked very smoothly. So we're looking forward to that a lot. So now I just wanted to tell you about what I think my very favorite day it's kind of tied, I would say, between the day that we spent in Sorrento with the amazing tour guide that we have, that we got off in Naples, we got on the bus, we went down to Sorrento and saw everything, then we rode the boat over to Amalfi. That was a spectacular day. That is just one of my very favorite days ever. The day that we took and spent on our own in Athens was also one of my favorite days. And then also my other very favorite day, which maybe would even be Athens this time, was the day we were in Istanbul. It was just so amazing to go get to visit the places. We went to the Blue Mosque, we went to the Hagia Sophia, we went to the Topkapi Palace. Then we got to go for a really nice boat ride on the Bosphorus. Straight there right in the channel. It was so beautiful, and it was a really nice boat. The food was better than I expected. It was just amazing, absolutely spectacular. And then our tour guide took us over to the Grand Bazaar. By then we kind of didn't have a lot of time, but we got to see what that's like, and we just had the most spectacular day. And so I would say that the whole thing that I enjoy most about cruising is that you get to go see so many beautiful places. They set up really nice excursions for you, or of course you can book your own independent guide and get to see these places in such an easy way. The ship literally pulls you up to the dock there, and then you get off and get to go see all these breathtaking places. But I would say that if you had to pick a couple of excursions to book, if you are going on a Mediterranean cruise, absolutely book one that takes you to the Sorrento coast there in Italy, that gives you a chance to walk around in Sorrento. If you've not been to Pompeii and to Capri yet, book one that takes you there as well. If you've been to those places, get the one that takes you on a boat ride down the Amalfi coast, down to the town of Amalfi. It is just absolutely glorious. It is wonderful. And the same with being in Istanbul. Book something that gets you in to see these places that have stood for centuries and centuries and centuries. And so many people have walked through, and then you get to walk through there and see what their eyes have beheld. That, I think, is the most special of all. So I would also like to hear from all of you in the comments. What places do you recommend not missing? Whether it's in the Mediterranean or somewhere else, please do let us know. And thank you for always being here with us. If you appreciate these updates, would you please give this video a thumbs up? I'll be talking to you all again really soon. You all take really good care. God bless you. Love you. Bye-bye.